The rain hammered the penthouse windows, a relentless drumbeat that matched the pounding in my chest. I stood frozen, my silk robe slipping off one shoulder, staring at the velvet box on the marble counter. Inside it, a diamond necklace glittered, each stone the size of a teardrop, catching the city lights like captured stars. It wasn't the necklace that stopped my breath. It was the note tucked beneath it, scrawled in Ethan's sharp, elegant hand. Wear this tonight. Trust me, I hadn't seen Ethan in 3 days. My husband, billionaire, enigma, the man who turned my world upside down with a single smile, had vanished after a cryptic phone call. Business, he'd said, his voice low, distracted. Now this, a necklace worth more than my childhood home, left like a breadcrumb in our empty apartment. My fingers trembled as I lifted it, the stones cold against my skin. Why now? Why this? The clock ticked toward 8. The gala was in an hour, a glittering cage of Manhattan's elite where I'd play the part of Ethan Caldwell's perfect wife. But tonight felt different. The air buzzed with something unspoken, like the moment before lightning strikes. I slipped the necklace on, its weight heavy around my throat. The mirror showed a stranger, polished, poised, but with eyes that screamed questions. I stepped into the gown Ethan had chosen, crimson silk that clung like a second skin. The driver was waiting downstairs, the Rolls-Royce idling like a panther in the rain. Mrs. Caldwell. The driver nodded, his face unreadable. I slid into the leather seat, the door clicking shut like a vault. The city blurred past, neon signs bleeding into puddles, horns swallowed by the storm. My phone stayed silent. No texts, no calls. Just the note's echo. Trust me. The gala was at the Met, a labyrinth of chandeliers and whispers. I stepped inside, heels clicking on marble, the necklace catching every light. Heads turned. Women in diamonds stared. Men in tuxedos murmured. I felt like prey. Lila Caldwell, a voice purred. It was Vanessa, Ethan's business partner, her smile sharp as a blade. That necklace. Quite the statement. Her eyes lingered too long, like she knew something I didn't. Where's Ethan? I asked, keeping my voice steady. Running late, she said, sipping champagne. You know how he is. Always a surprise. Her laugh was a shard of glass. I excused myself, weaving through the crowd, my pulse racing. Something was wrong. Ethan never missed these events. He thrived on control, on being the sun everyone orbited. So where was he? A waiter passed and I grabbed a flute of champagne, the bubbles sharp on my tongue. My eyes scanned the room. Senators, CEOs, faces I recognized from Forbes covers. Then I saw it, a man in the corner watching me. Not staring, not leering, but watching. Like he was memorizing every move I made. His suit was too plain for this crowd. His face forgettable, but for the intensity in his eyes. I turned away, my stomach twisting. When I looked back, he was gone. The necklace felt heavier now, like it was pulling me towards something I couldn't see. I slipped into a quieter hall, away from the chatter, my heels echoing in the empty space. That's when I heard it, a low buzz, like a phone vibrating. It wasn't mine. I followed the sound to a shadowed alcove, where a burner phone sat on a ledge, screen glowing. My breath caught. I picked it up, the screen showing one message. Look behind you. My heart slammed against my ribs. I spun around, but the hall was empty, the shadows swallowing the light. The phone buzzed again. Another message. He's not who you think. My hands shook as I typed, "Who is this?" No reply. Just silence, thick and suffocating. I shoved the phone into my clutch, my mind racing. Was this about Ethan? The necklace? Me? Back in the ballroom, the crowd felt like a trap. Vanessa was gone, but the man in the plain suit was back, now closer, his eyes locked on mine. I forced a smile, my training as Ethan's wife kicking in. Never show fear. But inside I was unraveling. Ethan's absence, the note, the necklace, the phone. It was all connected, wasn't it? I needed answers, but the gala was a stage, and I was playing a part I didn't understand. The orchestra swelled, signaling the night's main event. A spotlight cut through the room and the crowd parted. My breath hitched. There, at the center of it all, was Ethan. His tuxedo was flawless, his smile devastating, but his eyes, they were cold, calculating. He extended a hand toward me, the room watching. "Lila," he said, his voice smooth as velvet. "Dance with me." I took his hand, the necklace burning against my skin. As we moved, his grip tightened and he whispered, "Don't ask questions tonight. Just trust me." But the phone in my clutch felt like a bomb, and the man in the plain suit was still watching. The dance floor was a sea of light, chandeliers casting golden flecks across Ethan's face as we swayed. His hand rested on my waist, firm, possessive, but his eyes darted past me, scanning the crowd. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but the gala's watchful eyes pinned me in place. My clutch pressed against my hip, the burner phone inside it a secret weight. "He's not who you think." The words clawed at me, sharp and relentless. "Lila," Ethan murmured, his breath warm against my ear. "You're trembling." His voice was smooth, but there was an edge to it, like he was testing me. I forced a smile, the kind I'd perfected over 2 years of marriage. "Just cold," I lied, my voice soft but steady. His gaze lingered, searching, and for a moment I thought he'd call me out. But he only pulled me closer, his cologne, sandalwood and something darker, filling my senses. The necklace shifted, its diamonds catching the light, drawing gasps from nearby dancers. I felt like a prop in his world, beautiful and breakable. The music slowed and Ethan's steps guided us toward the edge of the floor. "Stay close tonight," he said, his lips barely moving. "There are people here who don't need to know everything." My pulse spiked. Was he warning me or protecting me? Before I could ask, he spun me gently, releasing me into the crowd. I stumbled, catching myself on a table, my champagne flute wobbling. He was already gone, swallowed by a knot of suits and smiles, his laughter ringing out like a performance. I scanned the room, my breath shallow. The man in the plain suit was there again, leaning against a pillar, his eyes like needles. I turned away, my fingers brushing the clutch. The phone. I needed to check it. I slipped into a side corridor, the gala's hum fading behind velvet curtains. My heels sank into plush carpet as I pulled out the burner phone, its screen glowing like a warning. Another message, check his office. Third drawer. My heart stuttered. Ethan's office was downtown, a fortress of glass and steel. How did they know about it? Who were they? I typed back, "Who are you? What do you want?" The screen stayed blank, mocking me. My hands shook as I tucked the phone away. The necklace suddenly tight like a collar. I needed to leave, to think, but the gala wasn't done with me. Vanessa appeared, her blonde hair gleaming under the lights, her smile a razor's edge. "Lost, Lila," she said, her voice dripping honey. She held a martini, her nails red as blood. "Ethan's quite the star tonight. You must be proud. Where is he?" I asked, sharper than I meant. Her eyes narrowed just for a second before her smile returned, making deals as always. She stepped closer, her perfume overwhelming. "That necklace, though, it's bold. Did he tell you where it came from?" I froze. "He said it was a gift." She laughed, low and cold. "Oh, Ethan's gifts always come with strings." She sipped her drink, watching me over the rim. "Be careful, darling. Not everyone here is your friend." I wanted to snap back, but she was already gliding away, her heels clicking like a countdown. My skin prickled. The man in the plain suit was gone again, but I felt his gaze like a shadow I couldn't shake. I needed Ethan. I needed answers. The crowd parted as I moved, whispers trailing me like ghosts. I found Ethan near the stage, his hand on a senator's shoulder, his laugh too loud. He saw me and his smile faltered just for a heartbeat. "Lila," he said, excusing himself. "Everything okay?" I opened my mouth, but the words caught. The phone, the messages, Vanessa's warning, it was too much. "We need to talk," I said, my voice low. "Not here," he said, his eyes flicking to the crowd. Later, promise. He touched my arm, his fingers warm, but his expression was unreadable. Before I could press, a man approached. Tall, silver-haired, with a face like carved stone. "Ethan," the man said, his voice clipped. A word. It wasn't a request. Ethan's jaw tightened, but he nodded, leaving me standing there, the necklace burning against my skin. I couldn't stay. The air was too thick, the eyes too many. I slipped out to the terrace, the night air sharp with rain. The city stretched below, a glittering maze of secrets. My clutch buzzed again. Another message, "You're running out of time." My breath hitched. I glanced back at the gala, at Ethan's silhouette through the glass, deep in conversation with the silver-haired man. The terrace door opened, and I spun, expecting Ethan. But it was the man in the plain suit, his face half lit by the city glow. "Mrs. Caldwell," he said, his voice low, steady. "You need to leave now." My heart pounded. "Who are you?" He stepped closer, his eyes unyielding. Someone who knows what Ethan's hiding. The terrace was a slab of shadow, the city's pulse thrumming below as rain misted my skin. The man in the plain suit stood too close, his words hanging like smoke. "Someone who knows what Ethan's hiding." My fingers tightened around the clutch, the burner phone inside it a ticking bomb. The necklace felt like ice against my throat, each diamond a question I couldn't answer. "Who are you?" I asked again, my voice sharper now, cutting through the drizzle. His eyes flicked to the gala doors, then back to me, steady as stone. "Call me Marcus," he said, low, like he was afraid the wind might carry his name. "And you're in deeper than you know, Lila." My breath caught. He knew my name, not Mrs. Caldwell, but Lila. "What do you want?" I stepped back, my heels scraping the wet stone. The gala's music pulsed faintly. A world away. "Not here," he said, glancing over his shoulder. "Meet me at the corner of 5th and 57th, 1 hour. Bring the phone." He turned to go, his coat flapping like a warning flag. "Wait," I called, my voice cracking. "What's Ethan hiding?" "Tell me now." He paused, half turning, his face unreadable in the dim light. "Check the drawer. Then decide if you trust him." He vanished through the terrace door, leaving me alone with the rain and my racing heart. The necklace seemed to tighten, a glittering noose. I stumbled back inside, the gala's heat hitting me like a wall. Ethan was still with the silver-haired man, their heads bent together, voices lost in the crowd's hum. I needed to move, to act, but my legs felt like glass. The burner phone buzzed again, a single word. "Now." I wove through the crowd, my crimson gown trailing like blood, faces blurred, smiles too bright, eyes too sharp. Vanessa was near the bar, watching me over her martini, her lips curling like she knew my every thought. I ignored her, pushing toward the exit. The driver was outside, the Rolls-Royce a sleek shadow in the rain. "Downtown," I said, sliding in. "Ethan's office." The driver's eyes met mine in the rearview mirror, a flicker of something. Surprise? Concern? "Mrs. Caldwell, it's late now," I snapped, my voice harder than I meant. He nodded, pulling into traffic, the city's lights smearing across the windows. My hands shook as I clutched the phone, its messages burning in my mind. Check his office. 3rd drawer. What was I walking into? The office tower loomed ahead, a monolith of glass and steel, its top floors lost in the storm. The lobby was empty, the security guard barely glancing up as I flashed my keycard. The elevator ride was endless, the hum of it matching the buzz in my head. Ethan's office was on the 47th floor, a sanctuary of dark wood and city views. I'd been here before, but never alone. Never like this. The door clicked open and I stepped inside, the scent of leather and coffee lingering. His desk was a fortress, all sharp angles and polished oak. I moved to it, my heels silent on the rug, and pulled open the 3rd drawer. My breath stopped. Inside was a folder, unmarked in a small black flash drive. I opened the folder first, my hands trembling. Documents, contracts, names I didn't recognize, numbers in the millions. One page caught my eye. A transfer receipt dated yesterday to an offshore account. Ethan's signature was at the bottom. My stomach twisted. Was this what Marcus meant? I grabbed the flash drive, slipping it into my clutch next to the burner phone. The necklace glinted in the desk lamp's glow, mocking me. I was about to close the drawer when I heard it. A faint click like a door easing shut. I froze. The office was silent, but the air felt alive, heavy with someone else's presence. "Ethan?" I whispered, my voice barely audible. No answer. I stepped toward the door, my pulse hammering. The hallway was dark, the city's glow filtering through the windows. A shadow moved just beyond the light. "Who's there?" I called louder now, my voice shaking. Footsteps, soft but deliberate, came closer. I backed against the desk, my hand fumbling for something, anything to defend myself. The shadow stepped into the light and my heart lurched. It wasn't Ethan. It was Vanessa, her blonde hair catching the dim glow, her smile cold as the rain outside. "Lila," she said, her voice smooth as silk. "You shouldn't be here." "What are you doing here?" I shot back, my fear sharpening into anger. "Following me?" She stepped closer, her heels clicking like a predator's claws. "Protecting my interests," she said. "Ethan's not the only one with secrets." Her eyes flicked to the open drawer, then back to me. "What did you find, darling?" I clutched the flash drive tighter, hidden in my hand. "Nothing," I lied. "Just looking for Ethan." Her laugh was a blade. "Oh, Lila, you're a terrible liar." She moved closer and I saw it, a glint of metal in her hand. A key, a weapon? My breath hitched. The elevator dinged, shattering the silence. Vanessa froze, her eyes narrowing. "Time's up," she whispered, then turned and vanished into the dark. The elevator's ding echoed like a gunshot, and my heart slammed against my ribs. Vanessa's shadow melted into the dark, her heels fading into silence. I stood frozen by Ethan's desk, the flash drive biting into my palm. The open drawer a gaping accusation. The necklace felt like a chain now, its diamonds heavy with secrets I didn't understand. Footsteps approached, slow, deliberate, not Vanessa's sharp clicks. I shoved the folder back, slammed the drawer, and slipped the flash drive into my clutch next to the burner phone. My breath was shallow, my pulse a drumbeat. "Lila." Ethan's voice cut through the dark, low and urgent. He stepped into the office, his tuxedo slightly rumpled, his eyes wild with something I couldn't name. Fear? Anger? "What the hell are you doing here?" I straightened, forcing my voice to steady. "Looking for you." The lie tasted bitter, but I held his gaze. "You disappeared at the gala." I got worried. His jaw tightened, and he crossed the room in 3 strides, his hands gripping my arms. "You shouldn't be here," he said, his voice rough. "It's not safe." His eyes flicked to the desk, then back to me, searching. Did he know about the drawer? The flash drive? Not safe? I pulled free, my fear sparking into anger. "You left me a necklace and a cryptic note, Ethan. You vanish for days, then show up acting like I'm the one out of line. What's going on?" He ran a hand through his hair, his composure cracking. "Lila, you have to trust me. I can't explain now. Stop saying that." My voice broke loud in the quiet office. "Trust you?" "I found a phone, Ethan. Messages, someone telling me to check your office. And then Vanessa shows up, acting like she owns the place. What are you hiding?" His face paled just for a second, but it was enough. He knew something. "Vanessa was here?" he asked, his voice sharp. I nodded, my throat tight. "She said you have secrets." "And I'm starting to believe her." He cursed under his breath, pacing to the window. The city glittered below, indifferent to the storm brewing in this room. "You don't understand," he said, his back to me. "There are things I've kept from you to protect you. People who'd use you to get to me. Protect me?" I stepped closer, my voice trembling. "By lying? By leaving me in the dark? I found papers, Ethan, transfers, millions, your signature." He spun, his eyes blazing. "You went through my desk." "I had to," I snapped. "Someone's watching me." following me, telling me you're not who I think, and you're giving me nothing. He closed the distance between us, his hands cupping my face, his touch warm but desperate. Lila, listen. I love you. Everything I've done is for us. But you need to leave this alone, please. I wanted to believe him. His eyes, those deep green eyes I'd fallen for, begged me to. But the flash drive in my clutch, the phone's messages, Vanessa's cryptic threats, they screamed louder. I can't, I whispered, pulling away. Not until I know the truth. The burner phone buzzed in my clutch, sharp and insistent. Ethan's eyes flicked to it, his expression hardening. What's that? I hesitated, my heart pounding. Nothing, I said, but my voice betrayed me. He reached for the clutch, and I jerked back, stumbling against the desk. Lila, give it to me. His voice was low, dangerous. No. I clutched it tighter, my pulse racing. Not until you tell me what's going on. The air crackled between us, thick with unspoken truths. Then the office door swung open, and Marcus stepped in, his plain suit stark against the polished room. Time's up, Mrs. Caldwell, he said, his voice calm but unyielding. Ethan spun, his body tensing like a predator. Who the hell are you? Marcus didn't flinch. Someone who knows what you've done. His eyes locked on mine. Lila, you have the drive. My breath caught. How did he know? I nodded barely, my hand trembling in the clutch. Ethan's gaze snapped to me, betrayal flashing across his face. Lila, what is he talking about? I don't know, I said, my voice breaking. But I'm done being a pawn in your game. Marcus stepped closer, his hand extended. Give it to me now. Ethan moved to block him, his voice a growl. Stay away from her. The room felt like it was closing in, the necklace a weight I couldn't bear. I looked between them, Ethan, my husband, the man I loved. Marcus, a stranger promising answers. The flash drive burned in my hand, a key to truths I wasn't sure I wanted. Choose, Lila, Marcus said, his voice steady. Trust him or trust the truth. Ethan's eyes pleaded, but they couldn't erase the doubt. I slipped the flash drive from my clutch, holding it like a grenade. I'm sorry, I whispered and handed it to Marcus. The flash drive left my hand like a confession, cool metal slipping into Marcus's palm. Ethan's face twisted, betrayal sharp as a knife, his eyes darkening with a storm I'd never seen. The office air thickened, the city's hum outside a distant roar. My heart pounded. The necklace a cold reminder of how far I'd fallen from the woman who trusted him blindly. Lila, no, Ethan whispered, his voice breaking. He lunged forward, but Marcus stepped back, pocketing the drive with a nod. It's over, Caldwell, Marcus said, his tone flat, unyielding. She knows enough to choose. Ethan's gaze locked on mine, pleading. Lila, please. That drive, it's not what you think. His hands reached out, trembling, but I stepped away, the desk a barrier between us. The burner phone buzzed again in my clutch. Ignored. Its secrets now secondary to the man crumbling before me. Then tell me, I said, my voice steady despite the tears burning my eyes. No more lies. No more trust me. What is it? What have you done? He hesitated, his shoulders slumping, the billionaire facade cracking like cheap glass. Marcus watched, silent, a shadow in the room. Finally, Ethan spoke, his words tumbling out like a dam breaking. It started before us. Vanessa and I, we were partners in more than business. We built the company on deals that weren't clean. Offshore accounts, bribes to cut corners. I thought I could fix it, bury it. But when I met you, I wanted out. Clean slate, my breath hitched. The transfers. The millions. To buy her out, he said, his eyes desperate. To end it. But she wouldn't let go. Threatened to expose everything. The necklace, it's a tracker. I put it on you to keep you safe, to know if she came near. A tracker? My hand flew to the diamonds, fingers fumbling at the clasp. It clicked open, and I hurled it across the room, the stones scattering like broken promises. You spied on me? To protect me from your mess? Not spied, he insisted, stepping closer. Protected. Vanessa's dangerous. She's been pulling strings, sending those messages. The phone, the warnings, it's her, Lila, trying to turn you against me. Marcus shifted, his hand slipping into his coat. He's lying, he said, pulling out a badge, FBI, gleaming under the desk lamp. I've been investigating Caldwell Industries for months. Fraud, money laundering. That drive has the proof. Vanessa's been cooperating, wearing a wire. Ethan's face drained of color. What? No, she's... The door burst open and Vanessa stormed in, flanked by 2 agents in dark suits. Her smile was triumphant, her eyes cold as steel. It's done, Ethan, you're finished. I backed against the wall, the room spinning. Vanessa cooperating. The messages, the shadows, it all clicked. A puzzle of betrayal snapping into place. You used me, I whispered, staring at her. The phone, the warnings. To make me doubt him, to get the drive. She shrugged, her laugh a shard of ice. Smart girl. Ethan's too noble for his own good. Wouldn't hand over the evidence himself, but you were the perfect pawn. Ethan moved toward me, but the agents blocked him, cuffs glinting. Lila, I swear I was ending it. For us. His voice cracked, raw with regret. Tears blurred my vision, the weight of it all crashing down. The gala, the necklace, the office. Layers of lies peeling back to reveal a man I barely knew. But in his eyes I saw the truth. He'd spoiled me not just with wealth, but with a love twisted by secrets. Billions couldn't buy forgiveness. Marcus nodded to the agents and they cuffed Ethan, his shoulders bowing under the weight. Lila, he said one last time, his voice a whisper. I love you. Remember that. They led him away, the door clicking shut like a final chapter. Vanessa lingered, her smile fading into something almost human. You'll be fine, she said, touching my arm. The company's mine now. You get a settlement. Walk away rich. I jerked free, my voice steel. I don't want your money. Or his. The room felt empty, the city's lights mocking through the glass. Marcus approached, his badge away, his expression softening. You did the right thing, he said. We'll need your statement, but after that... You're free. Free, the word echoed hollow. I'd been spoiled, yes, lavished with luxury, but starved of truth. As the agents cleared out, leaving me alone in the office, I sank into Ethan's chair, the leather still warm from his secrets. The storm outside had passed, the rain a gentle patter now, days blurred into weeks. The scandal hit the headlines. Billionaire mogul arrested, empire crumbling. I sold the penthouse, the gowns, the jewels, starting over in a quiet apartment upstate. No diamonds, no drivers, just me and the truth. Ethan wrote from prison, letters filled with apologies, promises of change. I read them by the window, sunlight filtering through leaves, and felt a pang, not of loss but of closure. He'd spoiled me with a life I never asked for, but in the end, I spoiled myself with freedom. The billionaire hubby was gone, but the woman he'd awakened remained, stronger, wiser, ready for whatever came next.